This is Professor Michael Chapman. I'm one of the most experienced IVF doctors in Australia. I believe that an important part that I can contribute is to educate patients in relation to fertility, infertility, and all that involves. These series of podcasts help to educate you. I hope they are helpful to you. If you wish to know more, however, I'm more than happy to have you contact me via email, which is profmchapman@gmail.com, or make an appointment to see me on 9138 4222.
Okay, Prof, here's some questions from the bank. What emerging technologies are likely to shape the future of IVF and fertility? For example, development of artificial wombs, and what are the potential challenges and opportunities in the future landscape?
I suppose the first answer is no one can predict. I mean, we've moved, when I started doing IVF, if we got a 10% pregnancy rate, we thought we were doing well. And we're now, if we don't get a 40% pregnancy rate, we are disappointed. Things have moved on substantially in 30 years, and most of that's been science. Some of that science has been serendipity, people doing something by chance. ICSI, the sperm injection technique, was a chance finding. It wasn't planned that we do that and do an experiment. We were doing a different technique. The people in Belgium were putting sperm under the eggshell and made a mistake and put a sperm in the egg, and they got a pregnancy. So it changed the world in terms of male infertility. And that was unpredictable. The things that hold us back at the moment in terms of better IVF is the understanding of the genetic makeup of the embryo. We're getting better at that, and certainly moving towards testing more and more embryos before we put them back means that we are more likely to produce a good embryo, or be putting back a good embryo earlier. Albeit, if you keep putting back embryos, if you've got 3 embryos, 2 are bad and 1 is good, you eventually get to the 3rd embryo and you'd get the pregnancy anyway. So in terms of ultimate pregnancy rate, even that probably doesn't change the long-term outcomes. Can we alter the genetic makeup? That's probably where things might happen in the future. There are work in animals, and there's one bizarre experiment in China that led to the scientist and the doctor being disappearing, I'll call it, where they did modify genetic information before they put the embryo back. And unfortunately, while they got pregnancies, they also got other abnormalities in the baby. So that technology is far from being ready to be used in humans. But that's one area. The other area is, in the same field, is this incidence of abnormal eggs increases with age. So it's a basic aging process, which unfortunately for women begins in their late 30s, and not like the rest of us where we're hale and hearty till we're 60s and beyond, and then things start to go wrong. For the ovary and the eggs, it happens far earlier, and which is a bit unfair. But what we are working on, and what everybody's working on, is why that happens, and secondly, whether we can reverse that process or hold it back or remedy it. So they're the areas that people are working on in all around the world. I've just come off my news items, and scientists have claimed they've found the chemical that they can use to increase longevity of life. Now, whether that's applicable to eggs, then maybe. I need to read further to see whether that's an option. But certainly there are people looking at chemical interventions in humans to see whether we can improve egg quality by reducing the chromosome abnormalities. Certainly in mice, our own experiments at our own university have shown that using particular chemicals, in older mice, we can get more eggs with less abnormalities. So at a mice level, it looks like it might happen. But those drugs at the moment are not available to humans. There are many websites and some doctors prescribing lookalikes, but none of them have actually had any scientific proof that they make any difference whatsoever. But that's going to be an expanding area for the future.